I want to start a project using ChatGPT. For now, I don't have any ideas what should I do and where to start. I want to create a project in Spring. Can you help me? Where should I start? What should I
Sure.
do?
You can begin by setting up a Spring Boot project. Spring Initializer is a great tool for this. Just choose your project settings like Maven or Gradle, Java version, and dependencies like Spring Web, Spring Data JPA, or whatever suits your needs. Once you download the generated project, you can import it into your IDE and start coding. Do you need help with any specific part of the setup?
Anyway, let me try to find Spring Initializer. I found it here. So let me try to create a project. So I want to use Gradle. Let's leave example, demo doesn't matter for now. And I would like to add dependencies. So first of all, I want to have a database. So let me add maybe PostgreSQL. After that, I want to add caching, maybe Redis. For that, I will use this one. I don't need reactive. So after that, I want Lombok, of course, Spring Web probably. Let me ask ChatGPT. What dependencies should I add for the beginning? I want to have Postgres and Redis for caching.
Great choice. To include PostgreSQL and Redis, you can add the relevant dependencies in Spring Initializer. Look for Spring Data JPA for PostgreSQL and Spring Data Redis for Redis. Once the project is generated, you can configure your application properties with the necessary connection details for both databases. Do you need help with setting up the configurations? In your pom.txml or build.gradle file, you'll want to include Spring Boot Starter Data JPA for JPA and PostgreSQL, Postgres for the PostgreSQL JDBC driver, Spring Boot Starter Data Redis for Redis. Here are the dependencies for Maven. A dependency, please reference org Spring Boot, artifact ID, Spring Boot Starter Data JPA, artifact ID, Postgres. A dependency for Postgres. These links will be the topology from Maven and Gradle. Configuring your application properties can be found in the configuration details. Do you need help setting up
That's not very helpful. It talks much, but let me do this by myself. So I already choose something, but I have no idea what else will I need. Probably for now that's enough. And I will add them when I will need them. Let me generate. Okay. Let me download that and let me extract new project from existing source. Okay. I remember it was Gradle. Trust project, new window. So here I created new project and I don't have anything for now. I have resources, I have application properties and anything there. So first of all, I will need to add some classes. And let me ask ChatGPT. So project was imported. Now I have on my local. Help me to create a project. Give me an example of project.
To create a Spring Boot project with PostgreSQL and Redis, you can follow this structure. 1. Project setup. Use Spring Initializer to generate a new project with Spring Boot Starter Web, Spring Boot Starter Data JPA, Spring Boot Starter Data Redis.
I already imported Spring Initializer. Now I need to add some classes.
Sure. Start by creating your entity classes for the data you'll be working with. For example, a simple user entity might look like this. Entity, public class user. Private long underscore username, public static void. Students, make sure to create your first Redis package with JPA. Next, create an entry point for the data with a class. For example, user, Whenever you create a new user, make sure you add login details. Now we have some methods. To create a data, create a revenue service. You're welcome. Let me know if you need any more help setting up the project.
Okay, let's start step by step. First, what do you suggest me to do? And create a code so I can put it and modify.
Sure, let's break it down step by step. 1. Set up Spring Boot project. Use Spring Initializer to create a new project. Choose Maven or Gradle and add dependencies.
I've done this. Let's go to next stage.
Great. Next, set up the configuration for PostgreSQL and Redis in your application properties or application YAML. Here's an example. PostgreSQL configuration. Spring data source URL, JDBC PostgreSQL:4042 your database name. Spring data source username, your username. Spring data.
Okay, I just will take that and let's see. So it suggested me to do something like this. I just will copy to application properties. So Hibernate, Redis. So now create user class. And that will be my entity. Something like this. Now I need to enable caching by adding the annotation to my main class. Enable caching I need to add. Okay. And after that I need to add the Redis configuration. So I'm adding the configuration for Redis, and let me check if everything looks good. So all classes are imported successfully. Let's go to the next stage. Add user service. So let me do that. Let me copy class, put it, and let me put the class here. And as you can see, there is no user repository because I haven't yet created it. Let me check. So let me copy the user repository, and now let me fix that. Okay, so our user have ID, name, and email. I have method find by email. Now let me remove the package. I don't want to create now packages, but let's leave them in one place for now. Okay, I created Redis configuration, user, entity, user repository, and user service. What should I do next? Let's wait answer.
Next, you can create a user controller to expose the functionality of your user service through REST endpoints. Here's how you can set it up. Example, user controller. You can see the code in our conversation history. Explanation. 1 endpoints. Post/users creates a new user. Get user ID retrieves a user by ID. Get users retrieves all users. Updates a user by ID. Deletes user's ID. Deletes a user by ID.
Okay.
2. Mapping to service.
Just continue.
The controller methods call.
Okay, I got it. So I just need to create a controller. It already gave me that controller. Let me copy that and put to my demo package for now. Everything in one place for now. Okay, so let's see. I think I have auto configuration, auto import, sorry, but I don't have those methods, and all of them are in user service. So let me ask to create those methods. So I'm putting service here, and now I see different errors: set name and get name. How can I generate getters and setters? Should I put annotation?
If you already have fields like name and email in your user entity, but don't have traditional setters, set name, set email, and you're using something like Lombok, you can annotate your class with @setter and @getter. This will automatically generate getters and setters for all fields at compile time. Here's how you can do it with Lombok. Updated user entity with Lombok. You can see the code in our conversation history. Steps 1. Add Lombok dependency. If you're not using Lombok already, add it to your pom.xml, XML for Maven, or build.gradle for Gradle. You can see the code in our conversation history.
For now, I'm just adding data that includes getter and setter. So I see that everything looks good. I have create user, I have get by ID, I have get all users, update user, and delete user. Just simple. I added controller, I added services, everything. Now what should I do?
Great progress. Now that you've set up your services, repository, entity, controller, and configuration, here are the next steps to fully test and deploy your application. 1. Test your application. Use Postman or curl to test your REST endpoints. Verify that you can create a user, post users, retrieve a user, get users /ID, and retrieve all users, get users.
So the next stage, I want to try to run. And now I want to run Postgres and Redis. Let me do that. So I need Docker Compose file for this. And I already have it, and let me just create it and put it here. Okay, what I need is Postgres, and also I need Redis. Here is my Docker, and there is no containers for now, and let me create them. Okay, now I have them, and looks like they are running. So let me check if everything looks. So for now I see containers are created, and what I want to do, I want to try to connect to them. So I already created the connection to Postgres, and as you can see, it succeeded. The next stage is running the application and checking if I can create a table from the entity. For that I need to add some configuration. Let's check what it does. Update the schema if necessary. Create the schema and destroy previous data. Let me make create for now. And let me check if I have correct username and password. Your username. Okay, probably they are correct. Okay, it's my user. This is username, and for password secret. I need to restart application for being able to see. Let me check. Yeah, here our users. And now I want to try to maybe open in browser probably. Okay, nothing there. So maybe I want to create user. Okay, here's the example of requests. Content type, I'm not sure if I have content type there. So I need ID, name, and email. ID, name, let me copy that. ID, name. So to increment name test. Email also test. Let me try to run it. Okay, it says response file saved. Let me check if I have it there. Okay, it's there. For some reasons names are not saved. Okay, it's because written wrong. Let me run it again. Okay, now it's okay. So what's next? I have running application and I can send some requests and I can see some result. So I can try to maybe run another request. Let me make a get requests. Anyway, delete get put. Yeah, for example, I can do users get request, first one and second one. As you can see, the first one, yeah, or I can even run put. So what I need to do, I need to set the same for put. I need to change test one or test changed or test changed.com. So let me run for the first one. So let me make sure that it's okay, null test. And now I'm changed. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, data are changed. Looks good. So let's update database. So this is just a simple application that I managed to run with ChatGPT. So for now, let me try to get information not from database but from Redis. So let's say I have a controller, and when I'm doing get user by ID, I wanna get information not directly from database but from Redis. What should I do first? I need to add annotation cacheable and cache name. Let's say a user, and key will be ID. First time it will get information from DB, but the second time it will get information from the Redis, I hope, if everything configured correctly. But for that I need to have cache manager if I want to use that. And also I need to have, by the way, let me try. Actually, I'm not sure about this, but so let me try to rerun. Okay, as you can see, I have here. Actually, let me run it in debug mode, and I'll show you. So for now, I would like to flush get user by ID. I will put breakpoint here and here also. So let me run it again. Let me make sure. Okay, now I'm here. So ID 1, this is my ID, and I'm trying to get a user, and here's my user. Let's see. Okay, first time it gets the information from DB. As you can see, and after that it saves this user object in Redis. As you can see here, it's saved. And now if I will run it second time, it already will not call this method because it's already cached. But if I will flush again, I will remove again, then I can see that the information taken again from DB. Okay, together with ChatGPT, I ran some code. I started application, and it helped me a lot to run a simple application in Spring.